Now, the final topic I'd like to cover is pistons. Now, in this case, we have a switch connected to a piston through redstone wire. We flip the switch, we activate the piston. Now, it's being directly powered, but incidentally, a piston is not a solid block, so we couldn't actually use its powered state to activate a neighbor. Now, sometimes you like to have a pair of pistons stacked too high. So in this example, we've got power going up and over this green block, powering the top piston, which causes it to extend. And the redstone wire is also powering this green block here, which is neighboring the lower piston, causing it to extend. The thing is, this is not how all these tutorials you see on YouTube have you build these things. Why is that? Well, because it makes it impossible to build long rows of pistons 2 blocks high. So let's say you wanted to do that. Over here, I have a 2x2 arrangement of pistons. Unfortunately, the way the redstone lays out, it's powering these 2 lower blocks, thereby activating the pistons, but it's just running past the upper 2 pistons, and so there's no way to power them or activate them in this way. So often, we'd solve this problem using repeaters in order to get the redstone dust to lay out the way we want it to. Now, if you look at this arrangement, what should happen here is we flip this switch, which powers this redstone dust, powering these repeaters, which powers those pistons. But because of the way the repeaters work, they only take input from this end and output to that end, and therefore should not power this lower block, and therefore should not extend this piston. Well, let's see what happens. First thing you might notice is, in fact, these lower blocks are not powered because this repeater isn't lit up. But strangely enough, this piston, these 2 lower pistons are extended. So what is going on here? Well, it turns out this is actually a bug introduced in Minecraft a long time ago, and it kind of caught on now as and is thought of as a feature. And so what's going on here is called quasi-connectivity. A piston is going to activate not just if an immediate neighbor is powered, but also if a block above or diagonally above is powered. So here the purple blocks aren't powered, but the repeaters are, and that is what the lower pistons are noticing. This quasi-connectivity applies not just to pistons, but also to droppers and dispensers, and I think a few other blocks as well. Now still, this is still not how it's done in all these tutorials. There's a better way. So in this example, we're going to intentionally exploit the quasi-connectivity. We're going to power this redstone wire from the switch, which is going to power these 3 green blocks here, which will naturally cause these 3 pistons to extend. But also, because of quasi-connectivity, the lower 3 pistons extend as well. The reason that this happens is that pistons actually kind of think that they're 2 blocks tall. So these lower pistons actually think that these green blocks here are their neighbors. And this comes from the fact that doors, which are 2 blocks tall, can be activated, opened, or closed on the basis of powering either the top half or the lower half. Now, there are some rules internal to Minecraft that I haven't really gone into that pertain to how blocks receive information that they should be activated or not based on redstone signals occurring near them. So when a block in Minecraft is powered, what it's going to do is inform a certain limited number of neighboring blocks that the power state has changed so that they can decide if they need to activate or deactivate or whatever. Now, quasi-connectivity, being a bit of a bug, actually kind of breaks this block update mechanism. So over here, I've set up a couple of different arrangements of pistons that should be activated by quasi-connectivity. So here we've got a neighbor above and to the side, nothing's happening. We have this neighbor, nothing's happening. We have this block is being powered, which is above and which is neighboring the position above the piston. And the reason this is happening is that although this quote-unquote neighbor is being powered, the information about the redstone powering isn't being propagated to the piston. But check this out. If I place a block in front of any one of these pistons, they will suddenly extend. Why is this happening? Well, when I placed the block, it sent a block update to the neighboring block, which was the piston, which then finally noticed that what it thinks of as a neighbor was powered, and then it extended. Now, what I've just shown you is what's called by many people a block update detector, or a bud switch for short. This weird connectivity and update issue has actually been exploited for many years as a means to detect things like pumpkins and sugarcane growing. In fact, it became so ubiquitous that Mojang took notice of this and recently introduced an observer block as an official way to do this.